Hold on a moment. Alrighty then. Whew. Damn. Oof. Okie dokie then. What's going on, guys? Lotus Waters here, back with part 3. I know, I actually didn't want to do part 3 today. I actually wanted to start a new series or do any of my other series, but mostly wanted to start a new series. It was a Naruto What If, because I've been trying to do a lot of those lately. And after I'm done with those, yeah, you will be hearing a lot of noise. It's that time of the week, kids. Your boy Lotus has the grandmother babysitting an annoying ass baby. Let's wait a moment, shall we? What a wonderful sound of crying. And it's back. I'm suffering right now. Oh shit. Hold on. Woohoo. Nigga did the most disrespectful thing he could do to the people taking care of him while his parents are at work. So this nigga legitimately peed on my floor. Not even the floor in the bathroom. No, the living room. Oh my god. Like, it wasn't even a small puddle. That nigga took like a big ass, long ass piss on my floor. Worst part is that nigga did it under the couch. Like, how the fuck do you do that? But anyways, let's ignore my ranting about how I'm struggling at this current moment in time. Because even though I'm struggling, I still struggle to give you guys your what ifs. Okay, so yeah. So last I left off, Deku went to train. Yes, I don't really need to say the title, do I? Because you guys have been loving this series lately. You've been asking for part 3s, part 2s. So you guys been enjoying the series. Quite honestly, I don't think part 4 is going to end it. This is probably one of my... No, this is not... That's crazy. I don't know. This is probably going to be like a part 6 or 7. I don't know. Because part 5, I think I'm going to make this longer, some shit like that. Because I'll probably be bringing in like Marvel villains and stuff like that. Alright? And you may be wondering, but aren't the villains that the Avengers fought like before? Didn't they happen like before Thanos? Yes, they did, but we're just gonna make it like this time they happen after Thanos, alright? Alright, after Thanos. Okay? Oh, hold on. Alright, it finally got quiet. So yeah, so why the fuck do I have to suffer like this? Why must I suffer this badly? Alright then. So Deku, he is currently training. Like the big boy he is, Deku's a big boy now. So Deku has to train his powers since, well, he could possibly destroy existence itself in a matter of seconds. But then again, he can recreate it or just reverse time on it. Well, if there is an existence to, well, reverse time on. But anyways, yeah. So, what happened? What happens is, Deku, while he's training and stuff like that, he decides that, you know, I've been hearing a lot about this thing called cultivation. He wants to cultivate his energy. Not ki, not chi, no. He wants to cultivate his energy to go further beyond what he is now, so he can get an even better control over his abilities. So what he does is he tries to cultivate. He tries to, well, cultivate. But he wants to cultivate on something, basically. He wants to, well, make the two things into one and then make that thing his servant. As Deku proceeds to, well, take out a cube that possesses, well, the Chaos King and the Black Winter, or also known as the Star Plague. The Black Winter can, well, destroy the universe. actually. Yeah. It can destroy the whole universe and stuff like that. So, yeah, you should really watch out for that. So, yeah, as Deku proceeds to, he doesn't take them out the box. No, he's not gonna do that. He basically has one box. He has the one with the Black Winter in the left, just floating, with a aura of well, a a crimson golden dust type aura. Basically, an aura that's like crimson, but every black part has a little bit of gold in it, which kind of represents his, Izuku, he kind of manipulated his cosmic energy in a way. His cosmic energy is kind of like the one of Evolve's cosmic energy, but much stronger, since, his cosmic energy is kind of gold. Sure, it's just like the one of Evolve's, but still, he prefers gold. But his is an even lighter gold than the one above all's. As Deku proceeds to cultivate the two, with the Chaos King in the right hand, as Deku cultivates the two, as Deku, it's slowly but surely, the two of them get together. And now, Deku, him and, would I say the two of them got a house? No, they live in an apartment, alright? They live in an apartment. Deku, he gave the apartment infinite space so they can do whatever they want. Now, Deku made a specific room for them to train separately because they have different abilities. Deku has a room with infinite space to, train his abilities without hurting anyone. Yeah, Squirrel Girl still has that, but still there isn't anything really to break. Sure, she's powerful, but I don't really see it breaking through space and time, so he doesn't have to worry about that. So, Deku proceeds to, cultivate. He cultivates, alright? And he sped up time inside inside that room for infinites of years, because he sees that, these guys are infinites of years old, and it's gonna take a while to actually get them to fuse. So Deku, while he's, cultivating in silence, it's absolutely silent. You're gonna hear a lot of noise. A lot. And it's driving me crazy. Quite honestly, I have a headache. It's been making a lot of noise this morning. Like shit, I couldn't even get some sleep. Had to wake my ass up at 8. But anyways, yeah. And that's kind of bad since I only had 4 hours of sleep. No, 3 hours and 25 minutes. Yeah, that's kind of how it worked. Fell asleep at 4:35. Or was it 4:45? Probably 4:45, who knows. But anyways, yeah, I got less than 4 hours of sleep. But anyways, yeah. So Deku, he proceeds to continue and train. He trains and trains and trains and trains. He has clones training on different aspects of his abilities, but still, he's still cultivating his main body at least. His main body's cultivating. As the boxes slowly but surely start to fuse. Now, once the boxes fuse, that doesn't mean that the two entities have fused into one. No, they have not. As the two entities are stuck in that same box. As the two entities stare at each other. As they try to break out, but they can't. But then they realize that, fuck it, we're just gonna fight. As the two of them just fight. They fight and fight and fight. Quite honestly, the two of them are evenly matched. Well, not exactly, since the Chaos King is about to kill the Black Winter until something happens. As basically the two of them start glowing golden, a crimson golden color, as they start to get closer and closer as the two fuse, making a new, completely different personality. First off, the Chaos King's personality to destroy everything around it with its chaos abilities, and the Black Winter's abilities to, destroy everything in the universe. The Chaos King has probably the ability to destroy existence in this, since it can actually go against the one above all. So, yeah. As Deku, he focuses even more. Since the focus is about to be broken since the two entities have just fused, they have a new, complete personality. And their personality is to bring chaos and ruin to all of existence. But Izuku won't allow that, since even if they come out of that box, they're not facing him and actually coming out alive. Because to say that you'd actually fight this Deku and come out alive, yeah, you'd be good. Like out of like the Deku, the Deku ones I've made, like, out of all the Dekus I've made, only person I could say that could actually fight them, like one anime character just fighting that one Deku. Because remember, most of the Dekus I make, they don't have just one ability, they have many. So the only character I could see coming out of this unscathed is probably Rimuru. Like no, not like regular Rimuru, like the one before season 2. No, I'm talking about like Demon Lord Rimuru. But even then, he'd still have a few scratches on him. Shit, even with Gluttony and Beelzebub, he'd still have some scratches on him. So yeah, and against this Deku, the two of them wouldn't even. It'd just be a standstill. They'd be fighting for infinites of years, since they both have the ability of Gluttony, but Deku's is, well, more advanced. So yeah, and he can't really be affected by magic, so Rimuru's Gluttony is kind of ineffective. So this Deku's definitely clapping Rimuru, which is something I never thought I'd ever say about any of my What If characters. So yeah, so basically, Deku, he splits himself into, he makes 4 more clones. 4 more clones, as he puts the box in the middle of all 4 clones, like they're sitting in a circle, as the box starts floating into the air, as all of them start cultivating, as basically in the middle they're forming a big ball, or a big diamond to be exact. Yes, a big diamond. A big diamond shaped thing, basically. A big crystal shaped thing. Kind of like a diamond, but not. Alright, the type of diamonds we used to draw with kids. Not like the one, like the regular one and shit like that. Like the one that it should be shaped like. Nah, like the one with the 4 sides. Yeah, that one, but like it's 3D spinning. Yeah, that one. Quite honestly, we all love drawing those. I'm not gonna lie. I actually enjoyed drawing those. That was a life. I'm not gonna lie. So, basically, Deku, he just continues to, well, charge. They charge up a lot of power. Deku, he made the crystal with his mental capacity and ability to, well, shape space and time and reality. Quite honestly, that crystal isn't really an actual crystal. It's actually a dimensional space. It's actually a dimensional space with a lot, and I mean a lot of elements. Like space, time, the basic elements, and many more. As basically, it became a whole new dimension. To the point where Deku started to actually create a dimensional rift inside of that whole place, which could possibly destroy it. But Deku had his clones repair it, as Deku's clones are charging up a lot, and I mean a lot of power into that crystal. As they shoot it at the cube, as the energy surrounds the cube, as basically you can practically hear screams of horror and terror from the box. Sure, it's not like so loud to the point where everybody on Earth or the universe and stuff like that could hear it, but it's loud enough for like anyone who enters the room, or actually anyone who, like, once you open the door, you're gonna be hearing the voice. Like the outside world will start hearing the voice. So only currently Deku can hear right now, and it's kind of bad since, well, Deku's clone's ears are actually starting to bleed. The only reason Deku can't hear it is because, well, he has the ability, he canceled out his hearing abilities. So he doesn't know that it's actually making a noise. As Deku actually senses that, well, his clones are disappearing now. He says, what's going on? As he says, what? Let me open my ears, because it's probably something that has to do with sound. Immediately when he opens his ears, he hears a blood-curdling scream. As Deku says, all of you cover your ears, as not with your hands, but with your ability to, well, shape reality. As they did that, as Deku proceeded to, well, continue. As he says, charge up even more power. Now, they're not doing it, they were just doing it with basic elements now. Now, he's doing it with magic now, cosmic energy, and many more. Chaos energy too. And chaos energy did a big role in this, a really big role in this. Chaos energy actually strengthened them, which kind of made it worse and harder. So Deku had to actually create 4 more crystals. Not as big as the crystal, but small ones, just rotating, like spinning around it. As Deku says, alright, charge all of your power. As Each four of them have one crystal, and those crystals are charging power to the big one. As they immediately sent it to, well, the cube, and it's finished. After legitimately on the outside world, it took about like an hour. At this time, Squirrel Girl already prepared dinner and stuff like that. So yeah, as Deku, it's finished. The cube evolved. The cube evolved into a cube that can actually contain him. Actually, the cube before was just like a white cube. Now the cube is like a silverish blue, basically. As basically it falls next to Deku, who is just laying down on the floor, huffing and puffing, and his clones have just poofed away. Sure, Deku has a lot of power, but this is actually the first time that Deku actually used a lot of his power without actually being able to control it in a while. So Deku is kind of tired, but Deku, he recovers from it like the moment he just hits the ground. As Deku gets back up and he says, alright, that's done, as he looks inside and he sees basically the Chaos King. The Chaos King basically, but like surrounded by like the fog that you see here. With, well, yeah, with, well, that face. That face of death. As that's kind of how it works. As basically, now we skip to UA, more specifically Aizawa. I think I said something about Aizawa last time. Yeah, about him meeting Deku and stuff like that, but this one is different. He goes to UA and he says, Nezu. As Nezu says, yes, Aizawa, what is it? As he says, I saw Midoriya. As Nezu's eyes widen, he says, well, we have to get him back. As Aizawa says, no, you have to get him back. As Nezu says, what? As Aizawa says, I already tried. That kid does not want to listen to me, nor does he feel obligated to even come back to the school. As Nezu says, how dare he? I have so much influence over this country that he will not have a peaceful life here. As basically, Nezu tries to use his influence, alright? He's trying to use his influence right now. Like, legitimately. As he says, I want everybody to start asking for people's names. If you hear the name Izuku Midoriya, charge that person exactly 100 million yen. As for like anything that he buys. Not all together, just one piece is 100 million. As Deku, he won't be going outside, so he doesn't have to worry. As basically, they said, okay, because this is Nezu. It's Nezu we're talking about here. They're kind of fearful of Nezu. Why? Because, well, Nezu's big body. Nezu's big body in, well, in the Society of Heroes. So, you kind of have to listen to him. Because, well, he's kind of in charge and shit like that. So, can't really do anything about that. Hold on, let me do something. Alright then, as basically, Deku doesn't go outside. He actually stays home. Alright? He stays home doing whatever. He's basically training. Well, not training, but cultivating. He's cultivating, well, this Chaos Star Plague. The Chaos Star Plague King, to be exact. As Deku proceeds to... Actually, Deku is still taking powers from the Star Badge. The Star Badge is not one to actually just give its power, like all of its power, no. Like, it gives like a certain specific like amount of power to defeat this one entity. But Deku, he's completely defying the Star Plague itself. Cause Deku, the moment he made contact with the Star Plague, he immediately started to suck. Not like that. He started to like eat the power of the Star Plague, like suck it up. And the Star Plague has practically infinite power to the point where Deku, he started to feel symptoms that he should not be feeling on the inside. First off, he was feeling real cold, real hot, and it's not like something like a sickness or anything. No, it's that his body is evolving even further than it already is. First off, there's the cultivation, which has him taking a lot of energy from, well, the world around him. Much faster than it did when he first, well, awakened from, well, the first evolution. as which really cost him a lot. Now, Deku, his body actually started to hurt a lot, and I mean a lot, really, to the point where his muscles were sore and he couldn't really train the Star Plague. But one day, while Deku was just going to get a snack, and Squirrel Girl was just coming home after a whole beating a villain incident and stuff like that, and Deku just passes out. Squirrel Girl gets home and she sees her boyfriend passed out, as she says as she tries to wake him up, but she gets up and stuff like that, as basically she calls the Avengers, as they come bolting immediately with T'Challa, because T'Challa was there at the current moment, and we are just talking about stuff, as they came bolting, as they barged into it, like everybody saw him, they were like, isn't that the Avengers? What's going on? As they thought it was like a villain or something like that, but they saw them just walk into a room, and they thinking, oh, the villain's in there, probably gonna interrogate the villain, or beat it up, or something like that, and they're cheering them on, and stuff like that, but they don't know what's actually going on, as basically they start walking in, as Cap says, what's the situation, as Squirrel Girl says, I don't know, he just passed out all of a sudden, as basically the Cap starts going to Izuku, but Wanda says no, it should be me looking after him, as Wanda goes to Izuku and she touches Izuku and she says, what is this? As as basically everybody says, what is it? As he says he's becoming the embodiment of a lot of things at this current moment in time. He's becoming the embodiment of magic, cosmic energy, and now even the Star Plague itself. The Star Badge. Oops, my bad. As they said, what's the Star Badge? As she explains the Star Badge and stuff like that. As basically they're like, oh wow. As basically she says, now it seems that he's having many symptoms. Not because they're being formed. No, if they were being formed separately, he wouldn't have a problem with it. It wouldn't be hurting him. It's just that they're all fusing, and at a very slow rate, which is causing his body to actually overheat, to actually then cool down, and then restart it all over again to, well, kind of reset. It's kind of like resetting his system. So his body, even though he has a lot of space, infinite space inside of his body to take in any amount of thing, it's just that it's just resetting so that he's just taking in the energies at a faster rate. As they said, but isn't it infinite? As they said, well, it's infinite for range, basically. As they said, what's his range? As they said, his range for infinite, like if it's an infinite range, I'd say around 25 kilometers or so, but it's trying to make the range even further to the point where it can envelop existence itself. As he said, we can't let that happen. If that happens, then existence would be sucked dry. As Wanda says, not exactly, because, well, after that's done, he can just bring it down back to how it was. As they said, but how long will it take? As Wanda says, I can help him make it even bigger to make it faster. As they said, fine. As everybody looks at Cap as they said, what, you're okay with this? As Cap says, it's for Izuku, and I highly doubt that Izuku would die that easily, as they said, fine. As T'Challa says, but if he dies, I call dibs on reviving him. As they all look at him and said, why are you calling dibs on reviving him? As he says, well, we have many people that can revive him. Hell, I think that the cosmic beings would be more than willing to revive him. As they said, you got a fair point. So you were calling dibs on the cosmic beings and many more, weren't you? As he says, yes, I was. As he said, fine. Wanda, get this over with. As Wanda, she puts her hand on Izuku's chest as she pumps a lot of chaos energy into Izuku. As then she starts broadening the range, making it wider and wider and wider to the point where it's enveloped existence. As Deku, he sucked magic, cosmic energy, and many more types of energy from the world. As Deku, he's sucking it in, the Star Plague's energy, to the point where he even came across, well, the Star Plague itself, badge itself. As Deku just sucks in the energy, as all of them fuse. The embodiment of chaos, the star badge, the cosmic energy, the chaos energy, as Deku became the embodiment of, well, what would I name it? Hold on. First, it's the star badge, chaos energy, the cosmic energy, and magic. Basically, cosmic magic chaos badge. I don't know, man. Name it in the comments for me. Alright, well, name it in the comments for me, alright? Just name it in the comments for me, alright? As then she sees that it's evolving yet again, as she says, "What? Impossible. Psych Allah, you don't have to name it anymore." Yes, I found it. I have a coping method now. Yeah, the boy has a coping method. As basically, she proceeds to say that his body is naturally, and I mean naturally, at a high ass rate at this current moment in time, is just taking in the cosmic energy and legitimately fusing it. And it's actually turning it not to cosmic energy or anything, but just energy. He's becoming the embodiment of energy itself. So any form of energy we can think of, he is the embodiment of, and he can create energy itself. So that's as they said, is that dangerous? As she says, it's more than dangerous, it's catastrophic. As they're like, wow, that's big. That's big news. As Wanda says, yes, it is, but, well, he'll get through it. Now, we skip. Izuku, he's in his heart right now. Well, not really his heart, but his mindscape. As he sees this big glowing rainbow ball. As Deku, he feels like he should go to it, so Deku goes to it and he touches the ball. As he gets enveloped, like the ball, it pops like into this, like, not liquid or anything. Yeah, liquid, actually, yeah. Liquid, as basically it starts filling up like the whole place, and Deku thinks that he's gonna drown from this liquid, but the moment like everything is filled up, a hole opens inside of Deku's chest, as basically the liquid starts going inside Deku's chest, as Deku's feeling more empowered, as a matter of fact, a lot. As then Deku sees the cube of, well, the Chaos King and the Star Plague, the Star Chaos Plague King, as the Chaos Star Plague King, as Deku says, "What the hell? Why is it here?" As the box, as it says, as basically he hears words, not words of himself, but actually the words of, well, the energy, as it says, "You shall now be the new and only embodiment of energy, whether it be immortality energy and many more. This shall be your trusty companion that shall stay with you at all times." As Deku says, well, shit, as basically the box is going closer to Deku's chest, as he says, "Wait, no, I can't have it inside my body. I'm going to cultivate." As it says, "Don't worry, this is only its spiritual presence that connects you." As Deku calms down a little bit, he says, "Alright then, carry on." As basically it proceeds to just go inside of Deku's body, as it turned from a cube shape to a spear shape to fit better into the hole, as the hole gets patched up. As basically around it was basically another spear that was, well, energy, as basically it said, "Hello, master." As Deku heard the words "Hello, master," and Deku says, "Huh? Who's there?" As the well, the Star Plague, huh? The Chaos Plague King, the Plague King. All right, we're just gonna say Plague King. All right, yes, Plague King. Two last names into one. All right, just Plague King. As the Plague King says, "It's me, master." As Deku says, "Oh, all right then. So I guess I'll be leaving soon." As it says, "Yes." As Deku says, "All right then." As basically Deku, he feels light shine upon his eyes as he opens his eyes and says, "Huh?" So he gets up and he sees the whole team of Avengers, like Thor and friends like that, just either sitting on the floor, sitting on a chair, sitting on a table, and he sees Wanda laying down on him, Like, they're not a thing. Calm down. It's just that she's kind of exhausted. Says basically, she just, well, sleeps. Like, Thor and T'Challa are knocked because this man's Deku legitimately took their energy. Not all of it, but he took their energy like crazy. As basically, as basically Deku says, "Oh, my range." As Deku, he puts out his hand again and he says, "Be still and retract." As basically, he stilled the rapids that were being controlled, that were being created yet again by his absorption abilities, and the range was retracted into, well, that of a 25-kilometer radius. And basically, Deku said, "Alright then, that's done." As, as Deku, he senses a new form of energy. As Deku says, "I can feel every energy around me. Chaos energy." As Deku says, "Huh? Wait a minute. This is new. What is this energy?" As the Plague King says, "This, master, is the energy of a quirk." As Deku says, interesting. Oh, it is weak compared to all the other energies, but it can still be useful. As the Plague King says, "What will you be doing?" As Deku says, "Well, first of all, I have to have various sets of armor of, well, the energies I have. First, I think I'll start with the quirk. An armor based on quirk. What type of quirk should I have? There are various quirks, one for all for one." Deku says, maybe a defensive barrier of some sort, or armor-wise, or invisible armor. As Deku says, perfect. A skin coating. A skin coating, like, it's kind of like a thin skin, like a layer over his skin type barrier, and it's a really durable barrier too. Really durable. Really durable. Really durable. Now hold on, let's find out what the strongest material, well, the most durable material in the Marvel universe is, shall we? So, Cap's shield is the strongest material in all of Marvel. Legitimately, like, deadass. In the Marvel universe, it's the strongest and most durable material. The second is actually, surprisingly, Quicksilver skin. Yeah, you heard me right. Quicksilver skin, because it is said that it can survive a black hole. Like, not just being sucked into it. No, that nigga's skin can survive staying intact inside a black hole, which is something that the human skin, hell, I don't even think that human development can even survive, alright? So, surprisingly, that's big body right there. That's big body. But Deku also knows about, like, the Silver Surfer and shit like that. As Deku says, "Oh, fuck." Isn't Quicksilver in DC or some shit like that? Hold on. I think he's in DC. So there are many universes, alright? Let's just say. Since Deku has the ability of energy manipulation, like any energy, he's able to sense the energy of other, well, dimensions and stuff like that. As basically, Deku says, "That's good," as Deku makes another cube, and it's a white cube which is kind of, it is basically it's kind of like dimensions, and yeah, as this dimension kind of has infinites of dimensions inside of it. And these dimensions are not variated by, like, how difficult they are. Well, yes, difficulty, yes, it's something in there. But it's not like difficulty of how, like, if there's monsters in it. No. It's the difficulty and, like, toughness of the gravity. How big the gravity is inside of there. Like, the gravity gets 2 times more heavier the next you go. As basically, Deku, he's talking to the Plague King, and he says, "I made a dimension for you, and so you can support gravity from practically infinite, but it won't just be fast, you'll have to train for millions of years, so I've sped up time in there for you." As the Plague King says, "Alright." As Deku proceeds to, well, let him inside. As the Plague King goes inside, as he trains inside of there, as basically, Deku does that. Now, Nazu has been searching for Deku. He has All Might searching, the Pro Hero searching, stuff like that, but he cannot find Deku whatsoever, which is practically frustrating Nezu. As basically, because Nezu feels like we need him back. We can use him for potential gains in the hero in the future. As basically that happens. That happens. The Avengers are the number one heroes of the world. Like shit, wouldn't you be considered the number one hero of the world as well? Shit. As basically, well, not really. T'Challa is. T'Challa is the number one hero of the world. Like shit, he big body, like shit. T'Challa is the number one hero of the world, but like the hero groups, like the Avengers is the number one hero group. As basically Deku, he says, okie dokie then. As Deku, he wakes up as basically he sees all of them, and he says, "Wake up!" Not like in a loud tone, but like a calming tone, and says, guys, wake up." As they all snap back to reality and wake up, seeing that Deku is still laying down with Wanda on, well, his chest. He's just holding Wanda. As Wanda wakes up a few minutes after they wake up, and as Wanda says, "Izuku, you're awake." As Wanda says, "Quickly." As Deku says, "Don't worry, I retracted it." As he says, "Oh, that's good." As Deku says, "Well, I have to go somewhere." As they said, "Where are you going?" As they said, different dimension, I guess. As they said, does it have other heroes? As he says, yes. And T'Challa, I think you can beat their strongest villain with ease. Yeah, you can definitely do it. As T'Challa says, ooh, interesting. As basically, what he does is, he goes inside that dimension. Immediately, Darkseid senses him, and Darkseid summons him. Not like Darkseid's small body, no, his actual body, the one that shadows like most of, well, the DC universe. His Darkseid tries to take his power by trying to kill him, but Darkseid can't do jack shit to Izuku. Because the moment Darkseid summoned him in front of him, Izuku started taking Darkseid's powers. As Izuku says, your eye beams have nice tricks. I'm gonna use them on you. As Darkseid laughs, and a menacing laughs, and he says, like you can. As he shoots his laser, as Deku shoots his lasers out of his eye, as Darkseid is being overpowered, he says, "What? How? Impossible!" And as Deku, he kills Darkseid, but Darkseid's soul tries to escape. As Deku says, "Oh, no you don't, I'm not letting you leave," as he grabs Darkseid's soul. As he says, into that cube you go. As Deku now, he's made dimensions he has now made a dimensional space with, well, infinites of those cubes inside. As Deku goes around killing jokers and stuff like that, he kills Batman, the negative Batmans who laugh and stuff like that. As Deku says, "Oh dear God, this is gonna be funny and fun as hell." As Deku, he just goes, and he proceeds to, well, kill a lot of those villains. As sure, he makes clones of them and stuff like that to stay in their universe and stuff like that, because, well, he can't really mess up the universe itself, but he kills the actual bodies and stuff like that. Is basically all of them are trapped, talking to one another, thinking that, oh, the next time they see me, no, Deku, they're going to kill him. But they all hear a voice, and it's a voice, and it's actually the cube. It's a cube that's above them. That's actually out of the dimensional space, and that's the Plague King. As the Plague King says, "Touch my master before we fuse, you die." As they're all scared. As Deku, he says, "Alright then, I'm done killing the celestial beings here, and the villains here, so, well, how about we go to my universe?" As he goes to his universe, and he goes to, well, the cosmic beings. Hold on. As he goes to the cosmic beings, as he says, "Yo, I'm gonna need to, let's just say I'm gonna need to kill you," basically. As they said, "Huh?" As Deku says, "Yeah, I'm gonna need to kill ya." As they're all frightened because they think they did something bad. As Deku says, "I can reassure you, you're gonna be back to life after I'm done." As Deku killed them, their souls float to Deku because they know they can't escape him. As Deku says, "Alrighty then, I'm gonna need to..." As he taps all of them. As he makes a copy of their clone, as Deku takes their souls, and he says, verse, as they go back to normal, as they were like, I thought we were dead. As Deku says, I told you guys you didn't do anything. As Deku gives them a big bright smile as he said, oh, thank God. As basically, Deku, he says, wasn't there one more? As Deku goes outside of everything and starts existing. As outside of everything sees Izuku and she is frightened like a motherfucker. As she says, oh dear God. As why is he here? As Deku says, yeah, you're dead too. As he legitimately kills her. And that legitimately, like all of it, like all of existence inside the MCU, like everything turned off. Everything turned off. Like everybody died for those split seconds. As Deku made a clone of her soul and trapped him and stuff like that. And she made him. It's basically he brought her back as she says, "Oh wow, do you know what you just did?" Deku says, "Yeah, I kind of temporarily killed everybody, right?" And she says, "Yes, you did. The god of death, life, many more." Deku says, "That's good. Now I don't have to worry about anything. Now I'm gonna have the strongest being and be the strongest being." As Deku legitimately like went out. He went back to the MCU and went so far that he got out of everything and killed everything. And the same thing with not the MCU, the DC universe, and the same thing with the MCU happened to the DC universe as Deku did that. And he said, what about anime? Deku pulled up on anime, pulled up on Dragon Ball Z, Luffy's gang, Bleach, Naruto, Baruto. Son even went into cartoons after he did that. He did all of that to anime. Son pulled up on H anime. Son said, like, if you know what H anime is, you know. As he didn't put them, he actually legitimately killed them. Why? Because there are some he doesn't like, so he just killed them. The ones that he's cool with, he leaves. But like the rest, he just kills off. As Deku, he proceeds on with his day. As Deku goes to cartoons, pulls up on Ben 10. Like shit, nigga even pulled up on Reality Itself. Bing, 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 bing. Like imagine somebody like my character pulling up in the sky saying every nigga on this planet finna die today. What you doing? Bro, I'm telling you this now. Sit my ass down, lay on my bed, sleep my last sleep, wake my ass up, watch my last video, watching Shrek in 60 seconds, look up at the sky and yell out, I'm ready. Like legitimately. So that's done. So Deku, he does that. As Deku says he's done, as he proceeds to just legitimately make a copy of the copies that he already did. As he proceeds to legitimately, like, he absorbed those souls, gaining their powers, their abilities, and stuff like that. He got the Joker cards that can work to dimensions and stuff like that. But Deku, he says, I'm not limited to just 3. I'm not limited to just a deck. I can have unlimited, as Deku legitimately makes unlimited cards. As they're like, what the hell, bro? That's impossible. As Deku says, yeah, it's now possible. As basically, Deku proceeds to fuse all of them with, well, the Plague King. That means evil Supermans as well. The Invincible Universe and stuff like that. So yeah, he did that. So, shit. Deku became big body. As Deku says, alright, now it's time to train my powers. As he trained his powers, and the Avengers stayed with Izuku for the time being. They stayed for like a whole 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. As basically, Izuku trained for like one week. As he got out, he said, alrighty then, training is done. As basically, like, Deku weren't sure, because he did a lot of training to control all of those abilities. As Deku says, okie dokie then, that's good. He says I learned every martial arts and many more. As Deku says, alright then. As basically, Squirrel Girl was blushing like crazy seeing Izuku, because Deku ripped. He ripped. He ripped. Not big body like a macho man. No, he he just stripped on many different levels. So that's kind of how it happened. Because basically Deku says, okay, it is done. As basically Deku proceeds to just continue walking without a care in the world of anything. As he's walking down the streets and stuff like that, as Deku already knows about Nezu's plan and stuff like that, and he doesn't care because, well, he can have as much money in existence as he wants, whether it be American, Canadian, shit like that. As Deku just proceeds to go to the store as they ask for his name, Izuku legitimately says straight up, Izuku Midori, as they smile and says that will be 100 million for one thing. As Deku says, okay. As Deku picks out like 100 things. As they said, sir, that's 10 billion yen. As Deku says, yes, I know. As Deku proceeds to pay him 10 billion, as basically they said, wow, this person is rich. Oh wow. As basically he goes into stores like buying hundreds of stuff. As basically Nezu gets reports that the people that were working with him now are not working with him anymore. Matter of fact, they stopped working and just retired. Nezu's wondering what the hell and how and why. As basically he gets an explanation saying that, well, all of them became millionaires. As Nezu was like, impossible. As well, as basically that's kind of how it happened. Now Nezu says, damn it, now we have to find Izuku on our own. As All Might heard about like the niggas the Avengers staying somewhere. As All Might went to find the Avengers and he found the Avengers. As he knocked on the door, as he proceeds to, as the one that opens the door is Thor. As he says, hold on. As he says, oh, how may I help you? As All Might, they don't really know about All Might, nor do they. Hold on. Okie dokie, then that's done. Alrighty then. As Deku, as All Might says, I am All Might, the number one hero here. He says, who? As basically he invites All Might in. As he says, hey guys, this guy says he's the number one hero in Japan. As T'Challa looks and he says, he's All Might. Interesting. What brings you here? As he says, well, I heard you were staying here, so I came to say hello. As said, alrighty then. As basically Izuku wasn't there right now. Son Izuku was taking a shower. As Squirrel Girl says, Izu, come down to eat. As the girls helped make the food. Like they had Captain Marvel there and shit like that. Pepper, like shit, they helped cook. Like Captain Marvel had a hard time cooking. I think she can cook. Probably not. I highly doubt it. I don't know, man. I don't know how girls work. Like shit, like girls have certain talents. You can be cute, know how to cook, big body, know how to cook. Quite honestly, whether you know how to cook or not doesn't really matter to me. Like shit, my ass is cool with eating ramen noodles. Like food is food. As long as that shit goes inside my stomach and keeps my ass healthy, I'm cool. As long as that shit don't kill me, okie dokie then. Like shit, I don't care how bad the food tastes. If my ass is able to eat that shit and come out unscathed and surviving and healthy as hell, that's cool. Am I the only boy who'd actually admit to saying that? Like the only boy who'd actually say that and actually mean it? Interesting indeed. Actually, quite honestly, the only thing I eat is probably ramen noodle and bread. Like legitimately, I mostly eat bread. Like legitimately, I legit eat bread. Not plain bread. Bread with peanut butter. Why do I not like jelly? Well, I don't know, man. I just don't. I just don't. Probably because of the Haitian cakes. Yeah, probably because of that. Yeah, it's probably because of them. Yeah, I don't like Haitian cakes, and Haitian cakes have a lot of jelly, so that kind of made me hate jelly a lot. So, yeah. So, that's kind of how it worked. So, basically, All Might hears Izu, and he thinks, huh? Izuku Midoriya? As they all turn around, and T'Challa says, yes, do you know him? As All Might says, yes, he's my student. As Deku comes down, wearing, a button-down shirt, basically. He comes down wearing a button-down shirt. It's still open, like legitimately, it's still open. He hasn't even buttoned it up. And like it's long sleeve. Deku comes down wearing jeans and stuff like that, sneakers. As Deku's wiping his hair because it's still wet. Like Deku, he got that long ass hair. As Deku says, I'm down, I'm down. As Deku says, oh my, as he says, why is he here? As Squirrel Girl says, who? As Squirrel Girl went to get Izuku. As Squirrel Girl looks down and she says, that bastard! As she jumps to attack All Might. As Thor catches her and says, mind explaining. As Squirrel Girl explains that he was the one in the video. As they all forgot about the video because of their good times with Izuku. As then they look at All Might and they remember about the villain. It was like, as T'Challa, as Thor, Thor. Yeah, because Thor is a jokester. As he says, you right, he look real familiar. As Bruce becomes Thor and he legitimately punches All Might. He punches All Might. And All Might hits the wall. As Deku says, hey, just because the wall can't break doesn't mean you can just punch anyone. As Hulk says, wall no break, me can break. As Deku was like, no, don't break my walls, nigga. As Thor says, ooh, I want to help. As he takes Mjolnir and throws it at All Might. As Deku says, nope, you're not gonna kill him today. As Deku holds out his hand, Mjolnir goes to Izuku. As Thor says, oh, come on, you can't do that. As Thor says, oh, wait, as he throws Stormbreakers. Deku throws Mjolnir, and Mjolnir is just floating around Deku now because Mjolnir knows the code. If Deku's not holding him and he just throws him in the air, that means to just stay idly by him. As he catches Stormbreaker as well. As Deku says, no killing inside of my house. As they all said, alright, you got it. As Deku says, good. As basically, All Might says, what was that for? As T'Challa says, oh, we know about what you did to him. As they said, what? What do you mean? We just kicked him out. As they said, no, you didn't. You beat him up. As T'Challa says, he'd be dead right now if it wasn't for him. As they said, by who? As he says, Squirrel Girl. As All Might laughs and says, huh? That little girl right there? As Thanos was just coming in because he heard there was food. That, like, they invited him for food. As Thanos legitimately, like, came in and he said, you guys said there were food. As All Might's eyes wide, he says, what? Impossible. Aren't you Thanos, the one that invaded Earth years ago? And Thanos said, who is he? As Deku says, oh, don't worry about him. As Thanos says, wait a minute. As Thanos uses the Mind Stone and he says, I see. Yes, you're him. As Thanos goes to Izuku and he says, kid, do you mind if I punch him? Izuku says, normally I wouldn't, but today we can't really go around killing people. As Thanos says, I understand. As All Might says, well, I heard we were having food, so I decided to, make food of my own to bring here. As they said, that's so sweet of him. Says they've grown since, he has a good relationship with Izuku now and stuff like that. So basically, they just sit down at the table and continue eating with Thanos now and stuff like that. As basically, Deku sees a big ass portal open up as he says, the guests of honor have arrived. As they said, guests of honors. As Deku says, I have a house full of infinite space, and you think I wouldn't bring more people? This is about to be a pool party, a barbecue, whatever you want it to be. As All Might said, there's no infinite space in here. As Deku says, oh, it's about to be infinite space. As Deku says, space infinity, after snapping his fingers. As basically, space expands. Oh my god, hold on. As All Might says, impossible. I thought you were quirkless. As Deku says, yeah, As they're all wondering, yeah, he's quirkless, but why isn't he answering, yeah, I'm quirkless? As Wanda lets out a big, oh, I get it now. As they all look at Wanda and they said, what do you mean? As Wanda says, see, like I said, he became the embodiment of energy itself. As she says, let that sink in for a few minutes. As they all think for a whole minute, a hot second, as they're like, "Oh, we get it now." So, oh wow, that's interesting. As All Might says, "What? I don't get it. Embodiment of what? Huh? What? He's quirkless still, though." Or, as basically, they hear a voice that says, what's with the yipper yapper?" As they look around, and they see, well, none other than Galactus walking out. As Galactus pulls up, as Galactus and the boys pull up, as basically Deku, he says, "The guests of honors have arrived." As basically as All Might sees all these people pull up. He doesn't know any of them. He's thinking like they're pro heroes or something like that due to how they look and stuff like that. But they're not, as the one above all appears, the one below all appears and shit like that. As basically Thanos sees Death, Death sees Thanos, and this one, Death didn't cheat Thanos, so yeah, they're a thing. Yeah, because quite honestly, I quite respect Thanos. I respect Thanos, because Thanos, like, shit, my boy Thanos, if he was a main character, he'd be exactly like Asta. I'm not gonna lie. Like, shit, the two of these niggas, bro, them niggas got stronger to get puss. Like, shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you'll never see another character like, this man, Rimuru. Like, Rimuru became stronger to also get puss. Not just one, but many, to become a harem king. Without even knowing. Like, legitimately. Like, cause if you heard in the first episode, Sun, he said that when he was gonna reincarnate, he's gonna be a predator. Nigga going after all the puss. So, him, Asta, and Thanos, if them niggas, yo, they had the same goal. So, this one, I respect Thanos. Thanos got with Death and stuff like that. So, yeah. So the two kissed and stuff like that. As All Might said, "Ew, isn't that a skeleton?" As Death was about to legitimately kill this man's All Might. As Deku says, "Do not do it, Death. I do not want to have blood of a scumbag in my house." As Death says, you're right. As basically, Deku says, "Good." As Deku made a clone of, well, everything. Cause she can't really go inside of herself. So Deku made a clone of her to go inside, get the food and stuff like that, and have like a whole kind of like a video chat thing, like a big screen and stuff like that, to have like a chat and stuff like that. So to enjoy it. It's basically they're all talking, enjoying the food, and the food is big. Like, it's not like in a small table now. No, Deku made that table big as hell, cause these niggas is big. So Deku had to make big ass food. So Deku and all of them was munching down on that food, and All Might saw all that food, and he was like, "What? That's impossible. None of them are hard to eat." As all of them look at All Might, as then they look at Izuku, as they said, "Yeah, sure, we won't be able to finish that." As then they look at Deku, the one above all, the one below all, the living tribunal. As then and eternity and infinity. As Deku says, "Wait, I have one more." As Deku legitimately pulls out the plague king with all the other abilities. As basically they were like, "Wait, isn't that the..." As basically the one above all says, "Isn't that the Chaos King?" And Galactus says, "Isn't that the black the Star Plague?" As Deku says, "Yeah, I fused the two of them, and they're kind of my servant now." As they said, "Oh wow, that's surprising." As Deku says, "Well, we munch down now." As they proceed to legitimately munch down upon the food, leaving no scraps at all. Spidey was there too, cause this happened in the afternoon, so we couldn't really do it in the day, or, well, Spidey had to skip school. We don't want that. So Deku pulled up. He just ate and ate. As basically they enjoyed the food. As All Might saw the food gone, and All Might was starving. He was salivating on there. He was like, "Shit, I want some of that." So basically, Deku says, "That was good." As basically Deku, he turned big. As Deku, he starts turning big. As basically, the one above all says, "All of you back off for a minute so he can get bigger. As they all back off to a faraway point. The one above all, no, the Beyonders picked up All Might by those two those two hairs sticking out. As they said, what is this? Ew. As they just pull Deku and no, not Deku. They pull All Might as they're like, okay, that's far enough. As Deku gets real big, as Deku lets out a big burp, as Deku says, "Ooh, that's good." As Deku looks at the Plate King and he says, "How strong are you?" As Deku says, "Infinity." As Deku says, "Perfect." As All Might says, "But young Midoriya, what is this power?" As Deku says, "Don't worry about that." As basically Deku says, "Now we train. Hold on." All Might says, "Training? Are they training you?" As Deku says, "What? Training me?" As they all look at All Might like he's stupid. As All Might says, "What? Isn't he a child?" As Deku says, "I'm training them." As All Might says, "That's impossible. They look so much stronger than you." As Deku says, "Yeah, you're about to see something fantastic, magnificent." As Deku proceeds to get larger, as he says, "Alright then, let's start." As he starts training with all of them. As Deku even took on being, well, ganged up on by all of them. At some point, as Deku, he beat them, but they also gained progress, learning new things, because Deku taught them. He even trained the Avengers as well. He had a small clone train them, as basically they got stronger. As he saw T'Challa being trained, and T'Challa is the number one hero, not villain, number one hero in the world. As All For One in this one is the number one villain in the world. As Deku says, "Alrighty then, that's done. Now, we take showers, and then we head off to the pool." As All Might says, "What?" As Deku legitimately says, "Pool up here." As legitimately Deku made a big ass pool. He made a whole shower for them. As Deku says, "Anyone who wants to go into a hot tub here." As basically they said, "Alright then." As basically Deku took a shower, pulled up on the pool. As basically, like, Deku didn't really need to take a shower, just a snap and he's clean. So kind of like that's kind of like how it is with the cosmic beings. Deku just snap clean. Wanda snap clean. So it's kind of how it happened. So yeah, so Deku just jumped into the pool and shit like that. And yeah, so Deku says, "Oh, this is great." As Nezu at this point sees that All Might still hasn't gone back, as he says, "Alright, I guess I'll go with Aizawa then." As he calls the UA teachers and he says, let's go to where All Might is." So the UA teachers are coming, as basically, like Deku knows they're coming. He doesn't really care though, because they can't really do anything to him. As basically that happens, as basically Aizawa knocks on the door since Nezu's too short, as basically the one to open the door again is Thor. As Thor sees them, as he lets them in, as basically all of them the music turns off, because, well, Squirrel Girl saw them. Like, Squirrel Girl turned off the music, as they look at Squirrel Girl, as Squirrel Girl is pointing, as they all look and they see the teachers, as Deku, he's kind of asleep in the pool right now. Like, legitimately, he's on a floaty just sleeping, not caring whatsoever. As basically Deku's just sleeping, as Squirrel Girl goes to Izuku and she jumps on him. She says, "Izu, wake up!" As Deku says, "Oof, what the hell?" As she jumped on his stomach. Normally that's not the sound you'd hear, but like, this is anime we're talking about here. You'd hear oof sound. So yeah. And no, I did not have to hit myself to make that sound. Quite honestly, it's a natural. So yeah. As Deku says, "Oh, what is it?" As she points, as Deku looks and he says, "Oh, they're here. They could go sit with him." As All Might just sitting there, sweating as all hell, because he's sitting near the hot tub. as they're like, "What, All Might? What is this?" As All Might explains the situation, as basically Nezu is in fear well, he still thinks that, oh, he's on the planet, so he has more authority in him and stuff like that. As Nezu goes up to Izuku and he says, Izuku Midoriya, I hereby order you to give up your assets and become a hero in UA again. As T'Challa steps in and he says, I don't think you're allowed to make that order. As Nezu, being the dumbass he is, he says, and who might you be? As he says, T'Challa, also known as the Black Panther, the #1 hero in the world. As Nezu says, impossible. How does he know the #1 hero? As the one above all says, yeah, with us here, I don't think you actually have the right to say that. As Nezu says, who are you rejects of heroes? As they all look at Nezu, as All Might says, Nezu, what did you just call them? As All Might says, they're reject heroes, aren't they? As Nezu says, as All Might says, those are not heroes, those are gods. Actually, they're celestial cosmic beings. As Nezu, he goes pale immediately, realizing what he just said to cosmic beings. As Nezu says, I apologize. As one above all says, too late. As immediately they jump Nezu. As the one above all made it so that Nezu is immortal while this jumping. So Nezu feels his bones cracking and many more. As Deku says, okay, you can stop now. It's not like I'm going back anyways. As Scarlet Witch says, come on, just go back. As Deku says, why? As they said, as she says, well, it's good to, I don't know, go to school. As Deku says, you don't have a reason for me to go back, do you? As Scarlet Witch says, nope, while shrugging her shoulders. She says, nope, I have no reason at all. I thought I'd come up with something while it happened, but it seems no. As she says, just go. As Deku says, fine. As Squirrel Girl says, I'm going with him. As Deku says, okie dokie then, that's perfect. As basically, Nezu says, okie dokie then. I guess we'll register you as a student again. And she has to take the test. As she says, oh wow. As basically Nezu doesn't know about Squirrel Girl. As basically Galactus and Thanos look at him and he says, Nezu says, what? As Galactus and Thanos look down. As Izuku says, oh, you didn't know about that? These two were defeated by her. As Nezu says, what? Impossible. This tiny little shrimp girl. As he gets kicked. Like legitimately, he gets kicked. As basically Deku says, you know, for a short person, you like to talk shit a lot. Especially to tall people. Bro, talk to somebody your own height. And possibly your own age. As she says, what? As Nezu, as basically he says, everybody here is older than you by at least a few thousand years. As they said, what do you mean? As basically, except for like the Avengers and stuff like that, but like everybody here, including Izuku, is much older than Nezu. As he says, everybody here is older than you by at least a few eternities. As Nezu says, a few eternities? Impossible. How can a human survive for that long? As Deku says, who said I was human? As they said, what? As Nezu says, what? But you're not a god, you're not a demigod, you're not anything. You're a quirkless, nobody human. As basically, they're all ready to kill Nezu. Like, really. Yeah, they're all ready to kill Nezu. Like, they're ready to kill Nezu. Without second thought, as Deku says, ignore him. As they proceed on with the party. As basically Deku says, okie dokie then, I'll go get the food, some more food. As basically they start cheering again. As Deku, you know, he goes inside that kitchen. They hear knives clinking. As basically all of them look as they see Izuku about to cook. As immediately mouths start watering. It's like the ocean was recreated inside of that one room. As Nezu says, why are their mouths watering? As they all says, I don't know. As basically Deku pull up that knife, bro. Sun started cooking real quick. Deku making food on food on food on food on food, to the point where this man's Deku has made a mountain of food, quite honestly the size of at least a universe. As Deku pulls out and he says, okie dokie, food is here. As oh my god, all of them jump to the food. Now, the pro heroes thinking that they can get some too. As All Might says, I'd suggest sitting down if I were y'all. As they said, what's the worst that he can do? As they're about to get food, but a scythe is right in front of them. As they says, huh? As they look up to see Death, as Death says, move any closer and you all die this instant. As Nezu says, huh? What is this weak bone gonna do? As he proceeds to touch the scythe like a dumbass and dies. As Deku says, "Oh my God, isn't that his soul?" I'm not getting that though. As they said, so we just gonna leave him floating there. As Deku says, "Yeah, we're gonna leave him floating there until either me, one above all, one below all, or just eternity and infinity just bring him back to life. Hell, if everything wants to, she can bring him back to life. But I'm not doing it. Probably not right now." As they all continue eating. I mean, they all can bring this man back, but they don't want to, because they know the ones that really want to bring people back is basically those guys I just said. The other ones, they don't really care about bringing people back. So, yeah, it's basically they proceed to eat, and that was the party. They proceeded on with their day full as hell, as they said, "All right, bye." As basically, that's the party, and the heroes got scrap food. Like they got food that was they got food. They got food, but not as good as the one that Deku made. And the next week, Deku gets a call, Nezu saying that Izuku, grudgingly saying that Izuku should come in next week. As Deku says, yeah, whatever. As that's the end of part 3. Whew. Yeah, again, 3 parts straight, going over the limit of 1 hour. Oof, that's nice. So, I'm sorry if you heard a lot of noise throughout the video. It's my apologies. It's my fault. I really should start doing videos on Saturdays and Sundays because of how loud it's going to be in my house, but I just want to give you guys my videos. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I hope you can forgive me. So, yeah, this has been Lotus with part 3 of What If Deku Married Squirrel Girl, and I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Lotus out.